What up, yo? It's your boy Ace Galvin coming at you guys with the next episode. As you guys remember with the last one we left off, pretty much was talking about the first kiss that we had and how that whole night went. And how, the dynamic of the relationship was and things like that. So now we're going to get into some of the events that start taking place in our relationship. So, as you guys already know, it's a pretty important thing to me, this whole thing that's going on. First thing we start talking about is, what about your parents? It's obvious that they don't know about me. No one knows about me. No one knows what's going on. So what are we going to do about that? That's kind of like what we got into. Now, during all this first 6-7 months, we're always talking about, she's always schooling me on certain things like scriptures and whatnot, which I respect that. It was just a whole new approach as anything I've ever dealt with. So I was like, that's cool. That's what's up. So she told me about all this and she's like, you know what? You should actually come to my Kingdom Hall. So I'm like, I guess that would be a good way to introduce me to your parents if I was actually there. And on top of that, I was kind of curious myself. I was like, you know what? That wouldn't be a bad idea. We can try it. But I would have to go dolo. I thought that she was going to, let me go with her. But in reality, no, I had to go solo and act like I knew of her, but didn't know her. Like, I had to go in there solo, once again, by myself in this whole place I'm not used to, and pretty much just mingle around until I got to the point where I ran into her and was like, oh yeah, I know you, and then have her introduce me to her parents. So what I did was I actually went along with this craziness because, like I said, it was important to me to get this companionship that I wanted, and I wanted everybody to accept it. So it was important. So what I did was I took the bus over there. I don't even have my car yet, and the car I do have is messed up. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to do it. So I take the bus all the way over there. See, remember, it's a couple cities away. Get off the bus, walk up to the place. I'm sitting outside. I'm sitting outside on the edge, kind of like on a corner, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, damn, this is going to be ridiculous. Like, how am I going to get in there, do all this, and make all this happen? That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, this is going to be crazy hard to do. So I'm just sitting there. I get some lady pulls up. She's like, hey. I'm like, hey. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just waiting, for the service. I think it was started at like 9 or something. And I go in there with her, and she was an older lady. So I'm sitting down with the older lady inside, and everybody's cool. I see her walk in. She was looking mad good. I've seen her mom, and I've seen her dad, and I've seen her sister. Now, mind you, I see them. They don't even really notice that there's anybody new in there yet. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, okay. I don't know how the hell this is going to work. She kind of looks at me. We made eye contact. She had like a little smile on her face, and that was it. She sat down on the right-hand side. I'm on the left-hand side. Tell me how. Through the first couple of minutes, they're like, the dude's like, yeah, we got a new person in here today. I'm like, oh. And then he's like, yeah, we got like a couple new guys in here. I want all these new people. You guys that are, new, to introduce yourselves. It was like 2 other people. It was like me and these 2 other guys. So I had to stand up in front of all these people. Now, everybody's looking at me because I was the first one he picked. I don't know why. And everybody's looking at me. They're like, And I'm just like, all right, stand up, introduce myself. And they're just kind of like, all right, where are you from? Like, I'm from, because like if I mention where I'm from, they're automatically gonna be like, oh, he's from there, he should be over there. So I like made up something that was kind of in between of both places, both cities, and they were just kind of looking at me like, oh, okay, and then like, what are you here to do? I'm like, well, just here to learn a little bit more, blah 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 blah. Everybody's like okay with that. Everybody was cool. Went through the whole service, got to the end, and that's when, y'all see that little, y'all see that little thing, nasty little thing falling. Anyway. Make it all the way to the end, and I see them and her, and they, we kind of introduce each other, like, oh, this is my friend from school, blah, 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 blah. They got this look on their face like, friend from school, huh? So they already know, they're just already like, they're suspicious in general. So I'm just chilling there, I'm like, yeah, blah, 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 kicking it with them. Not for that long, only for a little bit, and then I left. And then, and then when I left, I didn't get to talk to her for like, I think till the next day. Because like I said, they be having her unlocked. Like, she don't even have they don't even give her a phone like that. So it was crazy. So next day comes, I get in contact with her. She's like, yeah, it went cool. They didn't have nothing bad to say. Blah 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 blah. Then she also tells me in that same conversation, yeah, they're going on a vacation soon. Like vacation where? She's like, oh yeah, they're going somewhere. I think somewhere out of the country. I was like, cool. What's that have to do? She's like, oh, because you can come over and we can hang out. It'll be a lot easier. My grandma will be watching me. I'm like, all right, well. Whatever, that works. A couple days go by, and this is this is where like kind of like the drama starts beginning, because when those couple of days go by, she tells me they leave. So I'm like, all right, a week goes by. Now she's like, she has a car at this time, by the way. Throughout all this, she actually ended up getting a car. She's like, oh, I'm not going, it was either school or work that she was not going to go to. She's like, I'm not going to that. You should come over to my house. I'm like, all right, cool. So I took I don't know how the hell I got over there. I think I took a bus. It had to be something. No, I remember now. I took the bus to her job, waited for her at her job. When she got out of her job, then we went to her house. Now, she was supposed to be somewhere else, but she just decided not to go. I guess she got out of work early, and she was supposed to be pretty much working from like a certain shift till like 7. She left her job at like 4, so there was like a 3-hour window for us to chill. So we're over at her house. She drives me over there. We're chilling, talking. We're like laying down and whatnot. Now I'm just sitting there like, I get this feeling like, I kind of want to do something, but I don't really want to do anything because I'm kind of on edge. I'm like, yo, then I mean, when I say something, I'm not talking about like anything sexual. We haven't even gotten to that yet. So I'm just like, all right, well, I kind of want to, just chill out. So I'm sitting there, we're talking. We're all chilling. Next thing you know, I get this crazy ass feeling. I'm like, did you hear that? I'm thinking I'm hearing things. She's like, what? I'm like, you didn't hear nothing? She's like, no. Turns out what I heard was a door. You know how you close a car door? I heard that, but I heard it like relatively close to like the house. I'm like, did you hear that? Next thing I know, the freaking front door opens up. Not the door that, not the room that we're in, but the room, like the front door. I'm like, yo, I panic. First off, at this point, this was probably like the first time where I really was in a situation where I really needed to kind of think really quickly and make a decision and not be kind of like, scared about what I'm doing. So I was like, yo, what we gonna do? She's like, I don't know. I'm like, all right. I'm like, I'm gonna hide right here. Wait until I tell y'all what I tried to do. So she's like, I don't know, I'm gonna go see who it is. So she gets up, she bolts to the living room. Her grandma's there. Now the thing is, her grandma, I should have thought about this. If she was gonna be home, she shouldn't have parked in the parking lot because she lives on like a main road. So her grandma just so happened to have a bunch of girls that was going towards the hall. And as they're driving past the house, she sees Mia's car there. So she's like, oh, she's home? Why she's home? Like she wasn't supposed to be home until blah, blah, blah. So she stops there. And then she has a car full of people. And, I'm like, oh, snap, I need to hide. So I'm like, oh, for some reason, I thought it was an intelligent idea to hide like her bed is against the wall. Right? It's catacorn. It's not catacorn. It's in the corner. So it's a wall by the head, and there's a wall over here on the left. And then this is open on the right, and the bottom's open too. So I panicked to the point where I did not think about, oh, no, I looked. I got up. When she got up and ran there, I got up mad quick, and I looked around the room. I'm like, all right, should I go in the closet? Should I go in this closet? Should I go in the other room? I'm not familiar with the house, so I don't know where I should be at. I should have ran downstairs, but there's a dog. So I'm like, nah, I ain't doing that. So I'm like, all right, well, you know what? I'm just going to go hide under the covers. That's what I'm thinking. I'm going to go hide under the covers over here. So I go and lay down in the very corner of the bed. I sleep about half of my body into the side of the bed, and I cover myself with the covers. Like an idiot. Like that's going to really work here. Like hiding under some covers in a bed is going to work. Anyway, her grandma's like, what are you doing here? They're talking. Her grandma ends up coming into the room. I'm like, what is my luck here? I'm like, how is it even possible she's going to come into the room? She comes into the room. I'm still like kind of dipped low, like kind of low, like down into the corner of the bed. She's sitting there talking. Mia's pretty much handling her business. She's trying to best not to be nervous or anything. They keep talking. And then she's eventually like, oh, well, we got to get ready to go. She's like, yeah, no, just came home to do blah, 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 blah. She's saying something. And grandma sits on the bed. Now I'm like, yo, my heart rate was like, doo, because all I'm thinking is, yo, if I get caught here, what is that going to do to my whole situation? Because like I said, my situation was relatively important to me at that time. I wanted to make sure that I could see her when I wanted to see her, even though I couldn't see her when I wanted to see her. And I wanted to make sure that it didn't get any more harder than it already was, because it was already ridiculous. So I'm like, damn, like this is crazy. It shouldn't be where I'm at. So her grandma's sitting there talking. Mia sits kind of like against me. Like Mia comes in first and sits against me, like leaning back, so that her grandma doesn't necessarily want to sit that close, so she's like leaning against me. So Mia's against my chest. Her grandma's down by my legs. So that was our best bet. Like, All right, the legs is like not even that wide. Like the legs is almost behind the bed. So we're sitting there. Her grandma takes her hand, like stretches. I hear her like, okay, let's get ready to go. This right hand right here comes crawling down, doop, right on my leg. I'm like, ah! Her grandma touches it, like, starts like kind of like doing this, like, no, this is a leg. And then she like, starts squeezing. She pretty much turned around, ripped the sheets off. I'm like, I catch one of these. Whap! Straight, just right in the face. My whole ear started ringing. It was like, that's all I heard out my ear. It was just like, I remember seeing mad yellow and red on the side of my face. She caught me, like, bop! Like, just, she put some shoulder and some hip into it. She was just like, smack! And downward, too. Bing! I'm like, ugh! I'm looking at her, I'm like, ah! I look at her, I'm like, what the? And then she's like, what are you doing here? Who is this? And she's like, it's my friend, blah, blah, blah. You can already imagine how that goes. Grandma starts wilding. She's like, what is this? Da-da-da-da-da. She's like, you know what? I got people here. You're going to go out the back. I'm like, I'm going to go out the back. She's like, yeah, because you're not going to embarrass her. I'm like, what the I'm like, I'm going to say, all right, you know what? I'm like, whatever. Fine. So I leave out the back door. She makes me jump over the fence, run through somebody's yard, and jump over another fence. Now, when I do all that, I'm on the back side of the whole house. She takes Mia's keys, takes her, and they leave. So I'm just kind of sitting. Now, mind you, it starts raining. I'm in the back of a house 2 cities or so away from where I live. Like, damn, son. So I'm just chilling back there. Like, how the hell am I gonna get home? I don't even remember where the hell my wallet was. So I didn't even think I had money like that. So I literally was just sitting there in the rain, like, damn. And I'm thinking, all right, well, she's gonna end up telling her parents. Her parents just met me not too long ago at a Kingdom Hall, and now they're gonna find out I was in their crib, but they was introduced as a friend. I'm like, shit. So what ended up happening as I start walking, I had my phone on me, I called somebody, called Janelle, one of my friends or something like that, had somebody come get me. And then I didn't talk to her for like 3 days. Her grandma had her on super lock. When I did get to talk to her, she's like, oh, my parents are gonna come back early. She told them, what else she say? She told them they're going to come back early. She said that, like, I can't do anything. Like, they got me on smash. Like, she was just on, like, she couldn't do anything. The only reason she got that phone call off was because she used her friend's phone at school. So I was just like, damn. I'm like, damn. And then, like, the thing I'm worried about is what happens when the parents get back. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, yo, this is going to be crazy because this is going to make this whole situation even more difficult. So not only that, mind you, not only did I find out, not only did we get caught, literally the day after that, I start finding out, like, my mom's with this dude, right? And this guy that she's been with for about, I would say at that time, I think it was like a year or 2. Now, this is a whole nother situation. Let me get into it real quick. During that 3 years from the time where I went to that burning house to the time where I met Mia, in between that, my mom met this dude at a cookout at our house. She started dating him. About a year and a half later, I think he moves in. My mom's still kind of like wanting to deal with her ex because the nigga that she was dealing with now was corny. No matter what, no matter how anybody looks at it, that's what it was. You know how you guys know how it is when the ex is just better than the current, and then the woman wants to just mess with the ex just because he's just better, even though he's a douchebag. Y'all know what it is. But essentially, he was trying to get her to leave the state. First leave the city, then leave the state. He wanted to do it in order. So he was manipulating her into trying to, we need to move. So I hear, as soon as I get home, after that I'm in all wet, soaked, face is swollen. She really caught me though, like on some real. And my face is swollen, we get home, and that's the first, as soon as I walk in the door, before I even get to tell anybody, yo, I had a crazy day. Oh yeah, we're gonna be moving soon. What? What you mean? Moving where? We don't know yet, but we're gonna be moving. I'm like, moving from here. Like, and I've been in this city my whole life. I'm like, you wanna leave where? Yeah, we're gonna be moving. I'm like, oh shit. Now I'm like, mind you, at this point, this is relatively right after my grandma had passed away. So my mom had like 80 G's to work with. This is probably why this whole thing happened. So I'm sitting there like, and they're saying soon, like we only got 1 more month. Mind you, that next month, I didn't see me at all. We went 2 or 3 months without seeing each other. I couldn't. We're going to get into that next video about what happened when her parents came back and what was going on as far as this moving situation. Because remember, I don't have a car. My car that I do have doesn't work. And we're about to move. I can't see her. The stuff is starting to get real. I mean, I'm doing well in school and everything, but all this stuff is going on at once. And I'm thinking to myself, yo, if we move, then what? I don't have a car. How am I going to see her? I'm going to be mad far away. If we leave the state, then what? What am I going to do? Remember, my whole life at this point is based around continuing doing what I need to do and working on the whole companionship aspect of everything. I was very, very much in love with that girl at that time, and it was on some real, like, this is the person that's most important to me. Nobody else really mattered at that point to me. It was just pretty much me and her. We rode for each other no matter what. We had our friends and everything, but me and her pretty much got each other through everything that we went through. And I was going through a lot of nonsense. When my grandma died, she was there for that. I actually gave her a necklace. The only thing I ever got from my grandmother was this necklace thing that she had, like this metal, like this. I think it was like silver or something. It was some kind of white gold. I don't know what it was. It was like this necklace. The only thing I got when she passed. The only thing. Everybody else was getting houses, cars, and money. I just wanted that one thing. And when I got it, I had gave it to her. And I gave this to her the next time I seen her after I got slapped up. I gave her this thing. And I was just kind of like, I want you to have this. That's how important she was. I was like, yo, this is my grandmother's. The only thing I have. I want you to have it. Because it was just, that's how I felt about her. It was really that strong. So having all this happen definitely was taking its toll on me emotionally, because I'm like, yo, so I can't see her. You're telling me we have to move, which is going to make it even harder. They're essentially, and the thing is, it wasn't based off something cool. It was based off this guy, Steve, which was my mom's boyfriend at the time. He wanted to be on some sucker shit and pretty much get my mom to move away from her ex, so that way he don't have to worry about it. And if moving away to a different city didn't work, this nigga was going to try to change the state up. So next time we get back, and next time I holler at y'all guys and we have another video, I'm going to be talking about what happened next, all right? So it's your boy Aces. I'm out. Y'all know what this is. I'll see y'all tomorrow as usual. One.